The veneers are shaking. The crime stories are shaking. The cargo is shaking. Los Angeles is shaking. The presidential election is shaking. I don't know who's shaking, Lil Yachty or Caribou. The crime stories are shaking, and this is a very interesting one. So, a man from Detroit named Curtis Dixon was gifted a whole lot of money behind his kindness. Then, people saw how much he was gifted and how much that he was blessed, and they tried to take it from him. Ooh, there's so much to this story. Let's talk about it. Pictured above is Zach Daranowski. His Instagram name is MD Motivator. He is a Canadian YouTuber and influencer, and what he does is goes around to people, random people on the street, and helps them by giving them money, opportunities with the hashtag kindness is cool. Now, you see in some of these videos, he's hugging people and he goes on the street and does these skits all while they're being filmed and bestows upon average citizens that need it money, opportunities. It's really a cool thing to watch. In this particular skit, he was in Detroit, Michigan, sitting outside of a pawn shop. He played like he was a blind man and he ran into a man, older man, named Curtis Dixon. Now, Curtis Dixon was going inside the pawn shop to pawn his wedding ring so he could get money to get his lights turned back on. He needed money enough for this light bill, but still he saw this blind man. Not only did he go into the pawn shop and request for the security to help this blind man, when the man asked him for money, he said, "You know what? Yes, when I pawn my wedding ring, I'm going to give you a couple dollars." The white man, Zach Daradowski, he said, "Hey, why are you giving me the money that you need?" He said, "God told me to do it." He said, "God told me to help you." So I listened to God. When you listen to God, miracles happen, because what happened next was something that is only found in movies. I know Curtis couldn't believe it. Stunned and shocked at this very moment when Zach told him, "Curtis, I am not blind." Curtis said, "Hold, how many fingers I got up?" He was like, "Two." He said, and Curtis found out that this man not only was blind, he said, "Your kindness that you bestowed on me." He said, "Curtis, here's $1,000. Curtis almost broke down. He said, "Now go back in there and here's the money that you just gave me. Go buy your wedding ring back." He said, "I'm going to go get my wedding ring back." Then he saw Curtis again alongside his grandchildren and his wife. Now, Curtis and his wife, they raise their grandchildren. The father is in between jobs, and he said the mother is in Miami. So to me, I said, she doing her. But he takes care of his grandbabies and worries about his woman. That's it, that's all. Well, do you know Zach came back and gave him $100,000 in a new GMC truck, gave him a new car. Y'all, the video was so touching and heartwarming. I said, wow, just to even watch this really blessed my morning. He gave him that $100,000, and the pawn shop that they were at actually went back and gave him another $2,500. And I just was floored. I said, "Lord, blessings on blessings on blessings for this very deserving man." Could you imagine being so low your lights are cut off? Okay, that you have to take the symbol of your marriage and give it away just to keep the lights on for you and the children that you're raising, and you were still gonna give it to a stranger because you even thought that they were in need. You didn't know him. He didn't help you out before. You didn't owe him anything. He was a stranger. And he said, "I'm gonna give you a couple of dollars." I was so blessed by this. So when I saw Curtis get re-blessed, my hands were in the air. Now I'm going to tell you the crime that happened to Curtis. Y'all won't be able to believe this. So that leads us to September 1st, 2025. This is what happened to Curtis. So outside of Curtis's apartment, which is on this part of the map, he got kidnapped. His wife and him got kidnapped. They tried to take Curtis to the ATM and get that $100,000 out. Then they took his GMC truck, his car, and burnt it all the way up and moved the car all the way to this part of the map. This is the car, y'all. When the police found the car, it was still smoking. Thank God Curtis and his wife are alive. They kidnapped Curtis, they bound him, stripped him of all his clothes, and took him to the ATM. I don't know if they were able to get any money out. I don't believe so. But Curtis is not saying who did this to him. But they did say that it was 2 women and 2 men, like either 2 women and 3 men. But they had a hit out on Curtis. They knew how much money he had made because MD Motivator, he posts those videos. He wants to show the kindness being bestowed to people, and it put a hit out on him. Now, Curtis lives downtown Detroit, and they drove him all the way to the east side to try to get that money out and blow up his car. Child, they didn't know where the wife was at first. Found the wife tied up too. She's not telling who it was, but thank God Curtis is safe. And I really pray that he was able to keep whatever his money was. Baby, I'd have been punching in that pen wrong so many times, they would have locked me out of my account. Period. Now, a neighbor actually heard the car get blown up, and I think they heard the wife screaming when they first got bound and gagged. This is one of Curtis's neighbors. The neighbor was telling the story to the news. They were like, thank God they were able to help them. They said they are very nice people in their community. They don't cause nobody no harm. And they live in a nice enough, quiet enough place where they heard all that ruckus of them people being kidnapped. So thank God they were able to get to him. And he said specifically, he's a blessed man. He is blessed from the situation at hand. He's blessed from still having his life. They could have shot him and not just blown up his car. They could have blew up his car with him in it. Here's how they did the car, y'all. Yeah, real bad. All the remains of that car was all over the floor. So prayers up to Curtis and his family. Curtis, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Detroit, y'all need to stop. This man needs to be protected at all costs. And them people that did that, oh, y'all are going to hell with gasoline draws on for that. Now, y'all know y'all wrong trying to put a hit out on that man, knowing he needed them blessings. The money was not worth it. And I hope every single one of y'all are caught.